A couple players in that he knows he wants to see that he thinks are going to be in the team.
Yeah.
And a couple players that may or may not be that he just wants to see. But I think Giassi Zardes is going to be one of the ones to watch.
I think they're looking up. I just judging from these two games.
Oh, yeah. It looks really exciting what they're doing. Yeah, there's some iffy moments with the defensive shape.
But it's going to happen whenever you're trying out new formations, things like that. All right, so back again on Thursday.
How we doing?
Tomorrow Cody has to do his 2 forfeits.
They haven't even seen all the challenges yet.
I know, I just tried to make sure you did forfeits. Like and subscribe.
Well, I'm up 2-1 right now.
We're going to rub it in.
You better hope you don't lose the next 2 challenges. You're going to be doing 2 forfeits. Because I'll be at 4-1. I'll win the monthly.
Go ahead and talk.
What? James is going to grow his beard down all the way down to the floor. He's going to become like ZZ Top.
In the first segment we're talking about.
Whatever. He's not going to talk if he's going to talk like that. We'll just... Come on, man.
As you can see, Cody has to depress me all the time.
We're going to start doing podcasts here pretty soon, just not for this sport. Because... Well, I guess every time we try to contact people, people act like we're stupid because we're Americans. We don't know how to talk about this sport. Even though I played for 15 years.
I know, and I was in the World Cup once, but
no.
Once. Just one game I appeared.
But I was the, I got All-State, but apparently that, I don't, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Doesn't count.
Apparently not according to people from Europe, I guess. They don't think we know anything about the sport because we call it soccer, even though that's the word they came up with.
No, dude, what you do? Excuse me. All right, now I guess in the first segment, we do need to get, we're going to get into the
USA soccer team.
Yeah, USA soccer
So
team.
again, if you're European, you don't like American sports, I guess you can just turn off of it from right now. So, or you can keep watching.
They're the best team in the world, so they can screw. I'm not even going to say what I was about to
Which
say.
got extremely frustrating for me. Anyway.
Yeah, US played Chile.
Yep.
That's how they say it.
Well, I don't care how they say it. I don't say they played Chile.
Well,
know, like
you go Canadian whenever we talk about hockey, so.
Well, that's because that's what they're called.
Whatever. USA played
Chile. They're called the Montreal Canadiens.
I know that. USA played Chile yesterday.
You know, I always hate when people do that. When they put like accents like Afghanistan, they go Afghanistan.
What makes me mad is when they do it for certain countries and not for others. I try to do it for every country, but
like, why are you trying to pander to certain people?
Pakistan.
Like you're
Chile.
You're not from that country.
Or Americans will go Mexico. Dude, you're not Mexican. That's how they say it. We say Mexico.
We're trying to pay respect. Well, it's cultural appropriation.
Face.
Well, that's how people act. That's how I imagine they say it when they say it's cultural appropriation. Hey, don't talk about soccer. It's cultural appropriation. You could say that for anything.
Yeah.
Hey, this pen, this was made in China. It's cultural appropriation.
Unless you're white, you can't eat hamburgers.
Yeah, I've heard people say stupid stuff like that too. It doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, what are you doing?
This wall makes better conversation than most people I know. Yeah, we're gonna get into the USA. We spent all that time. They tied Chile 1-1. It was yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yesterday.
Last night they beat I
just said they tied.
They tied Chile 1-1. Now the positives from this game
was Sanchez playing?
No, I think he's hurt.
Okay.
But Vidal was playing.
Okay, Vidal's a good player.
And Gary Medel was playing.
Okay, so they had their midfield in there.
They had a lot of good players play. The tie is positive. One, Chile is a decent team.
Yeah, they're a decent team.
Bravo, the goalkeeper, was hurt too. We also had a hurt player, Weston McKinney.
Yeah.
And then
what was the injury? It was like a
there was a slight tackle.
A ruptured ankle, or
it was like a ruptured ankle ligament. But they said he's going to be out for a few weeks.
I was gonna say what's weird is he's not even out that long. I guess it's just one of those types of injuries.
He's a midfielder. What stinks is he's a midfielder.
Yeah.
A lot of midfielders like set up play and they hold the field down. What's sad about it? The Ecuadorian player probably made a tackle they probably shouldn't have made. It's a friendly. You usually don't make tackles like that. The Chilean players are doing that too. You know, I understand you want to win the game. It's just, but when you go in feet first and you take people out, it's kind of like, what are you doing? The referee did a really good job in the game. But Weston McKinney, yeah, he did have an ankle injury against Ecuador 5 days previously.
Yeah.
To the friendly yesterday.
And of course, they still, they're still adjusting to the new coach, the new system.
But they looked really good. The passes, that's what I'm impressed with.
That's something I noticed in the Ecuador game. I was watching some highlights and clips of it. Their passing, especially around the box, like right outside the box, is real solid and fluid.
We had 4 or 5 chances we should have scored. The touches were god-awful right in front of goal.
Yeah.
Areola had 1 or 2 where he was on a breakaway.
I think he had one in the Ecuador game, too, where he was like passed it back across and he got right in the middle of the box and just missed.
Well, he was right in front.
It was something like
he was right in front of the goal and he just made a bad touch. Pulisic, he scored a goal in the 4th minute.
Yeah, 4th minute early.
But he also had one. Well, let's talk about the goal. Giassi Zardes. It was from a clearance from Horvath.
Yeah.
He was the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Who he looked a little suspect at times too. He looked a little nervous.
Young,
but that's to be expected. Yeah, that's to be expected. That might be his first international game.
Yeah.
So he might get a few more chances, but
yeah.
But Zardes, he punted the ball out. Zardes took the ball. He spun and he took the ball out of the air off of his laces, and turned. First time pass. Took the ball out of the air. First time pass to Pulisic. Chip the ball over the goalkeeper. Goal. So it was ridiculous.
As a pro player, well, not even pro player, just an athlete that plays sports, they always tell you just go with your instincts and just play. Don't think about what you're doing, just do it.
But Zardes, and that's what he did.
That's what he did.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get more into Zardes in a minute. But Pulisic also had another one.
Yeah.
Where he had a chance to score on a breakaway. Terrible touch right in front of goal.
Just gotta get those touches down.
Areola had one that was right on a breakaway. Terrible touch. Same as Pulisic. Michael Bradley passed the ball from midfield, just smashed it all the way upfield to Baird, who was a new forward in that game because I think it was because McKinney was hurt.
Yeah.
And he took the place of McKinney as a forward. McKinney plays midfield, but I think he took the place of him. But Bradley hit the ball right to him on his run, right in front of goal, and Baird missed the ball, whiffed it. So that's 3 chances. There was another one where there was another breakaway downfield where Baird had it, passed the ball across the box, and I think it was Areola, just missed the ball. Excuse us if you can hear the siren. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do about that.
Every day when we start filming, stuff starts going down.
Apparently there was another wreck right outside of the apartment complex. But so that's 4 chances with Areola.
Yeah.
Well, not with Areola, but that was like the 4th chance. I think it was with Areola. But there were 4 or 5 chances they should have scored. Yedlin had one that was just went wide, so that was like a half chance.
Yeah.
The goal that Chile scored was off of poor defensive shape. Not really the back line, just kind of the back line. They didn't clear the ball. And when they finally did clear the ball, it deflected off of another player and landed right to this player right in front of the goal, and they just scored it. So there was nothing that they could do about that.
I feel like they finally got Michael Bradley where he needs to be.
Yes. Kind of like a defensive midfielder that distributes the ball.
That controls the field.
Now, they're thinking, here's the deal with Pulisic. He went off injured. It was just a quad strain.
Yeah.
So he should be back within a couple of weeks. But it was just, I think it was because he overworked it, and that is what happened to me. That's how I got injured. I overworked it, didn't stretch out enough. Sometimes it can happen when you're young. You don't really account for yourself being injured.
No.
You just go out there and play, and it's just a strain. Luckily, they took him off as a precaution, which they should have done. So he's looking to be back in the team, but they are thinking with Weston McKinney hurt, Baird was kind of yes and no on the field. So maybe he'll, and it might have been Baird that missed the 2 chances. I can't remember, but he was kind of off and on.
Yeah.
He played decent, made good runs. Just I don't think he's going to be a staple on the team. Could prove me wrong. Leggett had a decent game. I didn't tell you about him.
Okay.
He came in when Pulisic got hurt. He's always an impact player. Played well. I think he's going to be a staple on the team. Now Zardes.
You said he was your player of the match.
Could arguably be one of the ones to watch for the USA national team.
Well, I love him. He's one of my favorite players.
I think Bruce Arena was an idiot for not bringing him in to the team.
Yep.
Darlington Nagbe hasn't been a show for this team yet. Now they're still in the early stages. Maybe he's trying out some players.
Yeah.
He's putting a couple players in that he knows he wants to see, that he thinks are going to be in the team.
Yeah.
And a couple players that may or may not be, that he just wants to see. But I think Giassi Zardes is going to be one of the ones to watch.
I think they're looking up. I just judging from these 2 games.
Oh yeah. It looks really exciting what they're doing. Yeah, there's some iffy moments with the defensive shape.
But it's going to happen whenever you're trying out new formations, things like that.
They look like they try to do a lot of counter-attacking, which I think fits with USA Soccer because our caliber of play isn't all the way up there with a lot of teams.
It's more based on athleticism, I think,
yes.
probably.
Can we get there in the future? Yes, but I think a lot of our play is going to be passing out of the back and counter-attacking teams.
Yeah, which is, you know, if that's what you got to do, it's what you got to do.
And capitalizing on chances. And
one thing you did mention, they're talking about calling Weah up in Pulisic.
From the U23
yeah, right.
team. They're thinking about calling Weah up. Not for Pulisic, because Pulisic should be back in here pretty soon.
Okay.
But it might be for Weston McKennie.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
But I mean, there's not much else to say about it other than it looks like it's looking up for USA Soccer.
Yeah, I'd like the way they're looking so far, especially passing wise.
Yeah, got a bunch of young new talent. You know what it looked like to me? It looked like USA was right on the verge of just being on a rebuild.
Yeah.
And I know that's weird when you get to international soccer because it takes several years for that to happen. But it looked like USA's national team was just on a rebuild just because their players were getting older.
Yeah.
You had Dempsey, you had Altidore, you had players like Omar Gonzalez who were kind of getting past their prime just a little bit. Jeff Cameron, who wasn't starting on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Tim Howard, who was kind of brought in from being retired almost.
Yeah, to fill in a spot.
Guzan, who's pretty much out. It just looks like the USA team was transitioning into like a new era of soccer. It was like in a weird stage of, you know, they were just trying to make it into the World Cup.
Yeah.
And they should have beaten Trinidad and Tobago.
I agree.
At least tied.
Yeah.
But they just didn't play very well.
I guess their first big test to see how solid, you know, they really are looking is the Gold Cup coming up. Right.
Well, I would say so, but not really to me because they didn't win the Gold Cup before.
True,
when they almost...
but with the new system and
actually,
that's
a good point. To your point, USA won the Gold Cup. They should have made the World Cup.
Oh yeah.
They just didn't have their heads right.
Yep.
So they played like trash. That's basically what I'm getting at. They look good now. I want them to keep it up. That's the point. They should be able to keep it up.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it with that talk with.
Yeah.
With that, I
like
guess.
I said, we like to get into Team USA stuff, and they have one more friendly coming up, right?
I haven't
3
checked.
friendlies?
No, it was 2.
Was it 2? Okay.
Usually their friendlies are back to back, and then they schedule them later on.
Okay.
Usually because of club reasons.
Yeah.
And then they're back to back again.
Yep.
But anyway, guys, that's it with Cody and James Comments at Sports. Make sure to like, subscribe,
Hit that notification bell.
leave us a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.